Eli Lilly, maker Eli Lilly, the accounts purchased a number of stocks at the same time. The president was pursuing policies that made it easier to obtain GLP-1s.
Right.
And I'm sure you were paying attention last night, the president bought as much as $50,000 worth of stock in the company that owns the Ultimate Fighting Championship.
Speaking of the markets, a brand new CBS News investigation is shedding light on President Trump's stock trades since he took office. It is the fullest picture yet of what were apparently thousands of trades made on the president's behalf. It totals hundreds of millions worth of purchases and sales combined. Let's bring in CBS News senior investigative reporter Michael Kaplan, who's been joining us now from our Washington newsroom. So, Michael, this is really interesting. Break down this new reporting of yours on the president's portfolio. I don't think a lot of people realize that presidents can even trade stocks.
Yeah, Adriana, my colleague Stephen Becken and I have been poring over these more than 3,600 trades over the past few weeks. These were trades that were listed in the president's latest financial disclosure form, and it's really extraordinary for the sheer volume of the number of trades of individual companies.
Might this be considered insider trading? Well, according to the optics, yes. Is this something that will be able to be pinned on the president? Highly not likely. The reason why? Because of this thing called discretionary accounts. What are discretionary accounts, you ask? Discretionary accounts are something pretty common throughout the investment world. They're typically used by individuals that are privy to information that would lend them to insider trading if they traded on specific stocks. Here at my firm, I work at a mergers and acquisition company, and many of my colleagues have discretionary accounts with their with their personal investment firms. And the reason why is because we get information that two companies are about to merge. That's information that's not readily available to the public. And if we traded on that information, then we would be considered an insider trader.
The amounts total somewhere between $200 million and $695 million worth of trades, and keys into portfolios really active in some of the major technology stocks. Apple, Oracle, Amazon, Microsoft are among the most bought and sold securities. And we built an interactive version of this on cbsnews.com so the public can kind of go through these trades and see when they were made. And investment managers we spoke with were still sort of guessing at the overall investment strategy. But one theory that was floated to us was something called tax loss harvesting, which is basically a trendy strategy among high net worth individuals to mitigate a long-term tax bill.
Harvesting is not illegal. It's kind of what accountants recommend. Adriana made the point that she's surprised that there was this level of trading, but members of Congress can trade. I mean, there are some people who follow congressional representatives' trades because they feel like they know something the rest of us don't. But insider trading, which is that concept, trading on private info, is illegal. Did you come across any proof of that in the course of your probe?
Well, I just want to note that the president is exempt from a key conflict of interest law that, rules on what federal officials can do when it comes to pursuing policies that benefit their finances. And the Trump Organization told us that the president has no visibility into these accounts. His family has no visibility into these accounts, that these trades are being made by independent third-party managers.
However, if we have a discretionary account, which is an account that we authorize our money manager to make trades on our behalf, and in particularly a full discretionary account, that money manager can make trades, meaning purchases or sales, without contacting the client. In a full discretionary account, they can also move money and funds around. So it just all depends on what kind of discretionary account that there is. However, over recent years, a lot of members of Congress also use discretionary accounts. So that way, if they trade on, let's say, Lockheed or Boeing, and Lockheed or Boeing just happens to get a big governmental contract after that, then they can't be accused of insider trading because their discretionary account run by their money manager just independently made that trade.
But there are some interesting sort of timing things. For example, in the first week of January, the president's accounts traded almost $1 million worth of NVIDIA stock, up to $1 million worth of NVIDIA stock. A week later, the federal government pursued policies to loosen export controls that would allow the company to sell its prized AI chips in Asia. What? There are stock trades around Palantir that are interesting. Before the president touted that company, even mentioning the stock ticker of the company on his Truth Social account. Eli Lilly, drug maker Eli Lilly, the accounts purchased a number of stocks at the same time. The president was pursuing policies that made it easier to obtain GLP-1s.
Right.
And I'm sure you were paying attention last night, the president bought as much as $50,000 worth of stock in the company that owns the Ultimate Fighting Championship.
So this is why I say it would be very difficult to make something like this stick, even though we see the 3,600 trades, the high volume of individual stocks traded by the president and his family. The reason why it would be very difficult to make this stick as far as being accused of insider trading is because there would have to be such an in-depth investigation in order to tie the president or someone in his family or someone in his orbit contacting said money manager and advising them or tipping them of a policy that's about to happen. Now, are we supposed to say that then that's not happening? I am just saying that it would be very hard to prove, because as much as a lot on the left like to act like the president and his family are complete idiot dingbats and they don't know anything, I think they're very savvy at the things that they do. I.e. remembering Cohen, the quote unquote fixer, Michael Cohen, the fixer. President Trump knows not to have his hands directly in things. So there are going to be too many go-betweens and proxies that would be able to quote unquote transfer information from the family, the client, to said money manager, quote unquote, tipping them to make certain trades. It would be very difficult to actually trace this with all of the signals, WhatsApps, and proxies that could be used. Now, even though that I know that it looks like insider trading, I know that there's a high probability that there's insider trading. I also know that insider trading will not be prosecuted or anything like that on the president, because it's just going to be too difficult to prove as far as information going from the White House to said money manager. But with that being said, these are the types of stories that the hardcore MAGA faithful never pay attention to. It's the utter impropriety since this guy has been in office. This shouldn't even be a question. Most presidents haven't actively traded, using discretionary accounts or not. But this one is. Same thing with the reflecting pool. The reflecting pool is green because the president gave no bid contracts to his friends. Guy that lived 2 doors down from Mar-a-Lago and was accused in the early 2000s of trying to bribe a congressman. This guy, what was it, Green Water Solutions or something like that. It is green. He was awarded a no bid contract to the tune of like 1.7 million, almost $2 million to do a job at the reflecting pool that didn't get done. These are the types of stories that the hardcore MAGA faithful don't pay attention to. And this is how the country has been run. This is why affordability is at an all-time high as far as concerned. Yes, the gas prices are coming down some, but they're not at the levels before this conflict started. And the conflict still isn't over. So anyway, Is there probably insider trading going on throughout Congress, not just the president? Yes. Is that why they put a bill forth trying to eliminate people of Congress for trading stocks altogether to eliminate this impropriety? Yes, there's a reason for this. But until they actually make this a thing, it's not going to go away. So till next time, you guys, peace. Stay informed.